Right.
Until one of these days she breaks down.
Yeah. Did anyone see it?
Hopefully not.
You grabbed it?
That's mortifying.
You give it to Alex.
Yeah.
Mm.
We don't have to talk about
It's
it.
not her.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
What did Alex do?
That's real cute, Allie.
Alex hit your car?
No.
Allie.
I told
Shay
her.
told me.
Oh.
I think Jeremy and I are just sitting here so confused.
Everyone was just walking past it. Like, not, like they didn't even see it when we walked out.
Okay.
You finished English?
I'm gonna start it right now.
You forgot.
Yeah, I'm about to start it right now.
Mine's a full 2 pages.
I don't know.
Mine's gonna be
Oh, wait,
about
I started it.
5 sentences.
I think I have a page. No, not page. I think I have
So
a little bit
far,
more.
1 sentence. That's all we had to do yesterday. So it's not Journey, what?
Go get the boy.
Why'd you wear a school shirt?
Journey.
I kind of forgot about
All right.
Next week.
How are you guys?
I'm gonna join that.
Next week is Scrabble, so don't forget that.
What are you supposed to do? Just
I was just gonna wear my
take a piece
boots
of duct
today.
tape and draw a letter
And
on
I
yourself?
forgot my boots, so.
You dress as something that's the first letter in your name.
I'm dressed
I
as a
did
car.
have all the
What?
names on.
I'm dressed as a
And then I
car.
forgot my boots. So then I.
I wore my new ones because I never wear
I think I
them.
need to get some paper
I
towels.
had to put the cord
I just
shields in or whatever.
Built my cake. Can I get
Over by the
Darn
toilet.
it.
Louis, I need help.
That's why you bring monsters.
Monster? Really?
Yep.
Okay, you guys.
I don't even know what that.
We're gonna review for the second part now. You probably want to take notes since you'll get to use your notes on the second part of the test, right?
Can I take the first one?
Jesus.
You have what?
Paper.
There's paper over there, yeah.
Can I take the first one?
Jared.
You want the first question?
Yeah. Can I have the first test?
Oh, no, not right now.
I
No.
can't.
No.
I had to come in.
Yeah.
Wait for
Yeah, I tried to take it, but you only had it open for so long.
Yeah, it was only open during the class period.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Cause you told her to try and take it.
when I could. You
Oh,
told me
yeah,
try and
you-
take it when you could.
Well, you had to email me and,
Just clean it up.
Oh.
I emailed you.
No, I'm looking.
oh,
I was like, I tried taking it, but it wasn't
we have
there.
to, we have to schedule the
Yeah, it's
the
just
time when you take it.
I don't really have time after school. Like I have to leave. That's why I was supposed to do it.
It's gonna have to be either after school or before school.
So, next week, Monday, after school.
Yeah, you could schedule a time that I would open it up for you. Otherwise, people are gonna be taking retakes on Tuesday after school.
Oh, people are taking Tuesday.
I'll take it Tuesday.
I'll take it Tuesday.
Where is
Take it Tuesday.
If you can come in after school Tuesday to retake it, that'd work. Otherwise, we'll schedule a time and I can unlock it for you.
Oh yeah, I can't
I still have to do my English.
be here till like 2:15 or
We have a
later.
week and a half to do it.
Because I forgot I have to go to WAC now.
Oh, wait, wrong thing.
Yeah, we start back there on Monday.
First, you cut your arm
Thank
open.
God. I missed it.
Now then.
Now I get to do building
I'm not
searches.
wrong, am I?
Building searches.
Oh, y'all gonna walk around with guns on?
Mhm.
That's a.
He told me I get to hold the AR since I do with it.
Oh.
So I have to walk like this the whole time.
Jared, you're just tracking it with you.
That should be why I moved.
God, dude. What's wrong with you?
You guys got paper and stuff?
I can get it right here.
That's what I started to grab. Oh my God.
To write down my stuff.
Let me present my screen. So Serenity can watch. Hello, Serenity. Present. Hide that I guess. All right, I just want to go through these. That way we get them on the video. I can post the video and you guys can refer to it afterwards. Again, I'd recommend writing down some notes, writing down some example problems so that
No, I'll watch the videos and go through.
there are the,
Can we just watch the videos that we're taking the test?
no, take notes though, so that you can refer to your
That
notes.
is no stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, we get to use notes on that test, right?
Yeah, so watch the video, make notes from the video, and then have the notes with,
Do they have to be on a note card? Can they be like this?
No,
No,
it'll be on a
you can-
regular paper.
yeah. I mean, you can have like a notebook with you. All right, let's just take a quick look. Some of these want the units of the slope. Some of these just want you to identify what the slope is. Some of them want you to figure out what the equation of the line is, given some information. Yeah,
Is this solving equations too?
yeah, this is solving equations 2, the assignment. So once you get to, what did we say, question 14 and onward, that was from solving equations part of the test where you actually have a equation and you got to solve for x. We're going to be looking at 1 through 13 from this assignment and some of the graphs from these other ones. Let's take a look. What's probably the good place to start? It's not bad.
The first one? Just do that.
Yeah, you can do that after school Tuesday. I'll be here.
Why have this?
Is there a YouTube video?
Why couldn't we
Video on that?
Yeah,
It's on the classroom.
Why can't we like do it in class when we have nothing else to do?
because we have other things to
I'm just
do.
saying if we don't.
We do.
No.
Okay, so let's start, I guess, with some of these graphs, maybe.
I want facts.
All right, so let's try this one at first. We want to identify the slope of this line. Okay, slope. What do you guys remember? What's the little, what is slope? Yeah, Allie.
Rise over run.
Good, yeah. So just figure out some interval that the line goes over and then figure out how much it goes up or down versus how much you went to the right.
So, one.
Is it 1? Look at the axes.
Yes.
So it goes from 6 to 8, right? So that's 2, right?
Oh, yeah, because it's not.
Yeah, it's not by counting by 1, right?
Would it, if you simplified it, it would still be one?
Oh, okay, so you're
Yeah.
yeah, I see what you're saying. So the,
Oh, Olson's kid must go get a haircut.
Oh.
He didn't like it.
it's like, no. So the rise here, let's say you go from 6 to 8 as you go from 0 on x to 2 on x, right? So you're kind of like here, and then you're going to go to here. So you rise 2 as you run 2. So 2 over 2 is 1, right? Is that okay?
The answer would just be one.
Yeah, 1. So the rise over run it's a 1-to-1 ratio, yeah. Good. Now one thing to note is that when you have a linear relationship, no matter what interval you look at, the slope will always be the same. So let's say I went from this point to this point, I went up 4 when I went right 4. So 4 over 4 is still 1, so it's an equivalent fraction. I could go from here to here. I go up 6 when I go to the right 6, from -6 to 0 is 6. So that's 6 over 6. That's still 1. It doesn't matter what interval we check this on. Every line's going to have the same slope, no matter what 2 points you look at. Does that make sense to you guys? Good. That's one of the key facts to know about lines. All right, here's what's the slope of this one. Now, I usually like to go, I like a nice little intersection point, and I try to find another nice, clean intersection at a.
1/2.
So I go up 1, yeah, while I go over 2. So yeah, that's up 1 over 2. So my slope would be 1/2. Is that okay? Good. So like if you had, now notice these boxes aren't square. So this isn't quite 1-to-1 aspect ratio. It's kind of stretched. If it was properly 1-to-1 aspect ratio, these would be little squares. And a 45-degree line, would be a 1-to-1, a slope of 1. Anything that looks steeper is going to have a thing bigger than 1. And anything that's less steep will have a fractional value. Anything that's flat has a slope of 0 because it does not go up at all as it runs. It just runs. So 0 over anything 0. Good. So they give you 2 points and they want the rate of change. The rate of change is the same as the rise over the run. So here they're giving you the points not like as a graph, but just they're giving you 2 ordered pairs. So we want to figure out the rise over the run.
So it would be like y2 minus y1. over
Yes, yeah. Yep.
What was that, the formula?
Let me write it. That's -2 and 2, -8 and 3. It's an 8. So our formula for slope, which is the same as rate of change, is rise over run. The rise is the difference in the y coordinates over the difference in the x coordinates. Now, which point you call, x1, y1, and which point you call x2, y2, doesn't really matter. As long as you're consistent, if you did y2 minus y1, then you need to do x2 minus x1. You can't do y2 minus y1 and then x1 minus x2. You got to go in the same order. As long as you do that, your slope will be okay. You'll get it right. There's some over here. Okay, so yeah, just so it always goes x and y. So let's take the difference between the y values. So we could say 3 minus 2. But then I have to go in the same order. So I'm going to have to go with -8 minus -2. So the top becomes 1. And the bottom is -8 plus 2. Yeah, -6. So the slope would be -1/6. Just keep in mind also that -1 divided by 6 is the same as 1 divided by -6 is the same as -1 over 6. You can put the minus anywhere you want. Are we okay with that one? Okay, so that's not a bad thing to keep in mind somewhere. So that was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to move on, but that'll be in the video. If you missed that, you can rewatch. Here's another example. What's the difference in the y values?
What'd you ask?
We're gonna do the rise over run, so we're gonna find the difference between in the y values.
Write it down. I didn't.
Yeah. What was it, -8, 5? Let me check. -5. So we want rise over run. What should I put for my difference in y values?
Three.
So how did you do that?
Negative. Oh wait.
-5 means
Negative 13.
Yeah. So -5 minus 8, and you'll get a -13. Now I need to go in the same order, this minus that for the x values.
So negative 16.
Yeah. All right, 2 negatives will make a positive, so you can get rid of those. And I think that doesn't simplify. 13 is prime, so yeah, 13 over 16 will be the slope there. Is that okay? Nice. All right, so let me show you, what's that one with the squiggles? Squiggles. Yeah. Now this one, they say they want the average rate of change from 1 to 3. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at x1, and there's the intersection. What is that as a point? Like an ordered pair.
1, 5.
Yeah, that's 1, 5. We have 1, 5, and then at 3, we have
4.
3, 4. So those are our points. And we're going to do the exact same thing for the average rate of change. We're just going to find the slope of the line that goes through those 2 points. So what's my difference in y values?
Negative 1.
Yeah, 4 minus 5 gives me a -1. And for the x?
2.
3 minus 1 gives me 2. So that is -1/2. And that's how you do that problem. That's the slope. That'd be so like you had like a squiggly line, but that's the slope of the line that passed through those 2 points. That gives you here's the change, but the average change, as if it just went straight from one to the other, the average rate of change is just the slope of the line that would go through those 2 points. That's all you do, just like you did the other ones. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Here, same type of thing. Now they're giving it to you as a table. That's really the same as ordered pairs. For 98, you have 196. For 99, you have 205. 2000, you have 292. This is kind of like that one. It's something that goes up and down as you go from year to year. But they want the average rate of change between 2002 and 2003. So the rise.
So it would be, if you would put 2003 minus 2002 would give you 1 year and then
Yes.
$4 million.
Yes. And then, would you say 6 million?
Oh, yeah, 6, sorry.
Yeah. So this minus that, that's going to be your rise is the 6 million, and your run will be 1 year. So 6 over 1 would just go there. Because notice they say dollars per year. So the dollars is on top. So 6 million over 1. 346 minus 340. So it went up 6 million, while the years went up 1 year. It's still this minus that over this minus that. So it'd be 6 here, because they're saying the units are millions of dollars per year. And they say, what about from, do we have, I think 2004 got cut off, so we can't do that one. But for 2002 to 2004, if we could see those numbers, you would do you do this number of sales minus 340, and then the run would be 2004 minus 2002, which is just 2, so it's something over 2. We can't really do that one, but that's how you do it, just like how we did this one with 1 to 3. Okay, then here's some where they just ask you basically what's the slope or what's the rate of change for her. She rides for 2 hours. She goes 20 miles. What's her rate of change?
You do the 2, and then you put 2 over 20, right? And then simplify?
That'll give you hours per mile. Is that usually what we have?
No.
It's usually miles per hour, right? So put the miles on top. And then, yeah, it would be 10. Because you'd have 20 miles per 2 hours, so 20 over 2 is 20 divided by 2, that's 10. Is that okay? What's that? Yeah, I would start by thinking about what the units are. So we have miles, right? And we have hours. Now, when we talk about somebody's rate or their speed, their rate of change, you're used to talking about how many miles per hour are you going? How far do you go in a certain amount of time? So we want miles per hour. So we want the miles on top and the hours on the bottom. So 20 over 2, or half of 20, is 10. Does that make sense? All right, Damien checks his pulse for 4 minutes. What is his rate if he counted 496 beats in that time?
You would put 496 over 4.
Yeah. And I'll put that into calculator to see what that reduces to. 496 looks like it goes to 124 beats per minute. Is that okay? The falls that make up Niagara Falls are eroding backwards. Thus, they're migrating upstream. So like the ledge that the water falls off of is receding. It's moving back up the river because the river takes some of the dirt with it. It's migrated back 20 feet in the past 10 years. So they want feet per year. How many feet does it erode per year on average?
2.
2, right? 20 over 10. Good. So yeah, those ones, you're really just doing rate of change. They're not giving you on this year it was here and on this year it was here. They're actually telling you how much it changes. So these are already the differences. After a difference of 10 years, you see a difference of 10 feet. It's very similar to the ones we did here. But here we had to subtract first and then take the ratio. here, we already have them as differences, so we just need to take the ratio. Good. Now this one says, are these functions linear? If they are linear, then the ratio should always be the same when you take the difference. So here is, let me see if I can, I'll try to print screen maybe, or I don't know how this will work. Can't really paste into here. Oh well. So on this one, if I take minus 25 minus 5, I'm taking the difference. What's minus 25 minus 5?
30.
Negative 30. And that's in 5 years. So I went negative 30 in 5 years. How much do I change in the next 5 years? Do I go down 30 again?
Yes.
And in the next 5 years, do I go down 30 again?
Yes.
So that is a linear function. It has the same change per every 5-year period. Does that make sense? All right. So g is a function, is a linear function. H here. So at 0, I'm at 5. And in 5 years, how much do I go up?
5.
Yeah, I go up 25. In the next 5 years, do I go up another 25?
No.
Not linear. That's definitely not a line. Okay. This one you got to be a little careful of because this went change 5 years, change 5 years, change 5 years. This one changed 5 years, change 5 years, change 5 years. This one changed 5 years, changed 10 years, changed 5 years. So this change should be double what the other changes are because it's a 10-year stretch, not a 5-year stretch. So just be a little careful on that. So in 5 years, how much did I go up? I went up 20. How about in this 5 years at the end, from 20 to 25? Did I go up 20 again?
Yes.
All right. And then from 10 to 20, that's 10 years. So how much should I go up?
40.
I should go up 40. Is that what I did?
Yes.
So that's a line. 40 over 10 is 4. 20 over 5 is 4. 20 over 5 is 4. The ratio is holding from one point to the next. So
What is the function?
K's, well, I think they're all functions, but the linear functions, the ones that show lines, so far G is, H is not, K is,
Wait, why is it 8?
because in 5 years, I grew 25 points. And in the next 5 years, I grew, 75 points. So instead of, I went from moving 25 in 5 years, that's a slope of 5. And then I went 75 in 5 years, that's a slope of 12. It doesn't have a constant rate of change. Does that make any sense?
Kind of. No.
So like subtract 30 and 5, what do I get? And 5 minus 0? Yeah. What's 25 divided by 5? Yeah. Okay, let's try the next one. I have 105 minus 30. You can use a calculator.
75.
75. 10 minus 5?
5.
75 divided by 5. Yeah, I think 12, right? Is that, let me try it. 75 divided by 5. It's 15, sorry about that. Yeah, because 5 times 5 makes 25. So this was 25 divided by 5 was 5. 75 divided by 5 was 15. So that's not a constant rate of change. Lines are steady. They change in a set way. All right, F is our last one here. I was at negative, I was 3 below 0, now I'm 3 below 20, so I went up 20 in 5 units. In the next 5 units, I go up another 20. And in the next 5 units, I go up another 20. So it's changing by the same amount.
The top number on the X, you subtract it from the second number,
Yeah, as long as,
then that takes on your constant.
yeah, so let me try that one. I'm gonna try to, it's kind of hard to do this. So my table was, all right, so I'm going to look at, I'll choose different colors. I'll look at these two. So 17 minus negative 3 over 5 minus 0. That makes 20 over 5. That's a rate of 4. I can now check these ones. 37 minus 17 over 10 minus 5. That's 20 over 5. That's again 4. I could check the last pair. I could even check the first one and the last one. I can check any pair I want. 57 minus negative 3. Yeah. Over 15 minus 0. That gives me 60 over 15. Well, twice 15 is 30. Twice 30 is 60. So this makes 4 again. Every pairwise comparison that I can make, the average rate of change is 4 each time. So that's a line. Sure, yeah.
There you go, use the rest of this one.
You have to go one at a time, so
One
just,
at a time.
yeah. No, it's,
They don't have to, it's just teachers do that. Because the rule is just boy and girl.
but at our last meeting, we were told that there are parties in the bathroom and we got to go back to just one. Well, it was a euphemism that there's too many people collecting in the bathroom. Because if every teacher sends out 2 at once, then,
Well, yeah, but if it's a different gender.
but every classroom's doing it, you know, like,
No, it doesn't matter.
it's just their rule. Is that okay? All right. So you have some that show you a table. Is this a line? Some will ask you, what's the rate of change? Or what's the average rate of change? Good. This one was just find the slope. We did that already. We'll come back to that. Let's go ahead and talk about graphing lines when they are in slope-intercept form. So you might remember y, now you can go. Y equals mx plus b, where m was the slope, that's the number on multiplying x, and the other number, the constant, was the y-intercept, where the thing crosses the y-axis. So this has a -3 for the y-intercept. It should cross the vertical axis at -3. So that's a contender. That's a contender. That's not negative, so that's not, that one's already out. And so is that one. So which one of these two graphs from the first two, they both go through -3, which one of those has a positive slope versus which one has a negative slope?
Second one is a positive one.
Yeah, this one's positive. It's going up as you read left to right. As you read left to right, on this one, it's going down, so it has a negative slope. Is our slope negative? Yeah, so it's got to be that one. We already know. We can double check to make sure that it is -2. So if I go 1 unit to the right, do I drop down to -5? Yes, I do. So that's, this first one is the graph of that equation. Is that good?
So, are they gonna have like 2 graphs to choose from for the answer?
It could be 4 or 2, yeah. You'll have one where you got to identify. How about this one? What's the y-intercept here?
-3.
Yeah, so we want ones with -3, not +3. So it's one of these middle two. All right, one of them has a negative slope and one of them has a positive slope. What does this line have?
Positive.
So it's got to be C, right? They might have a different slope number here, but this looks like when I go over 1, it only rises half. So that would be a 1/2 slope positive. Is that good? All right, we got a match. We have the purple. How much does that go up and down as I run to the right?
0.
Yeah, so this is going to have, when I think of y equals mx plus b, m is going to be 0, which means there should be no x term. So which one of these could be the purple one?
Y equals 4.
That's it, yep. So notice it's at 1, 2, 3, 4. Every value has a y that's equal to 4. So that one's P. And that one's purple. All right. Looks like we have 2 lines that cross the y-axis at +1. And we have 2 lines that cross the y-axis at -2. And so you can see there's the 2 at -2. And there's the 2 at +1. The green has a positive or negative slope.
Positive.
So, and it crosses at 1. So which one of these is the green one?
The 5x plus 1.
Good. That's a positive slope. 5 should be very steep. And it should cross at 1. That's exactly what that looks like. In one step, it should go up to 6 because that's 5 above 1. So that's looking good. That means the K must be which one?
The y equals -1/2 x plus
Good. Perfect. So we got 3 of them out of the way. We now have a +1 slope and a -1/4 slope. Which one's the +1 slope here?
the 1. That one.
Yes. And the last one must be the blue one.
I thought it was gonna get confused with the lines, but I think I'll get it.
Good. So yeah, these ones, they're just a few key features that you got to check, and that should be pretty good. All right. This one's pretty easy. graph the line that has an x-intercept at -3, 0, so it's got to cross through here, and a y-intercept of 0, -3, so it's got to cross through here. So just draw a line between here, and that's your line.
Wait, how do you like, how do you draw, do you, like? how do you-
On this software, you would just use the line drawing tool and put a dot here and a dot here, and you'd be done.
Oh,
You always need just 2 points to find a line.
is there gonna be Kramer's rule on this?
Not this one,
Oh.
not this part. All right, sketch a graph of this line. Where would I start?
Okay.
Yeah, on the y-axis, I would go to here, click. So I go to -1, and then my rise over run is what?
-1.
Yeah, so if I run 2, I should go down 1. So if I just clicked here and then here, that would be my line that goes through there.
That would be the same as going up 1 and to the left 2, right?
Yes, yeah.
Wait, how do you graph that one? Why is it?
We start at -1, right?
Yeah.
So we start here. And then the rise over run is down 1 over 2.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna go down 1 over 2. So it's gonna go like that. It should have a negative downward slope. And that's only a half. So in 1 step, it would only go down half. In 2 steps, it would go down 1.
This is go. I'm gonna be here Tuesday. Oh, wait, oh.
Okay.
Well,
You wanna do a retake?
I haven't even taken it yet.
Then we need to schedule a time when you can.
You could just share it. Or like make it available.
Then you need to schedule a time when you're gonna have a 75-minute period to do it in.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah. All right, how about graphing this line? Where would I start?
Positive 1.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go here. What's my rise over run?
2 for 1.
Yeah, 2 over 1. You can think of just 2 as 2 divided by 1. So I'm gonna go up 2 over 1. So this is my line. X equals 4. How do I do that?
What?
How do I do x equals 4?
X equals 4. Gotta find it.
You go,
Can't even
oh,
go.
you go over to the 4,
Yep,
and you put a dot there, and you put a dot.
anywhere else on this line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a vertical line. So it goes through here. The next one I think is a horizontal line. That's like y equals 4.
Wow,
So
how come that's y equals 4?
because the x is always the input and the y or f of x is always the output. So you can think of that as the same as y. It's just stressing that it's a function. So you input some x, any x value, and you always get out 4. So the output is always 4 for any x.
FX is y.
Huh?
FX equals y.
Yeah, f of x is basically the same as y.
That's y equals 4.
So what would you put on the graph?
Of a horizontal line here,
Oh, gotcha.
because it means if you put in anything for x, it doesn't matter what x is, you're going to get 4 output. So if I put in 1, 4. If I put in 2, 4. If I put in 3, 4. It's always going to give you 4.
You put a 4?
5, however, gives you not -2.
You gotta put a 2.
Yeah.
What a 4?
No, this is just a plain line, so it's always got the same slope. This has a slope of 0. How about this one? Y equals -3.
I just wait for the guy to come on.
You go to 3, up to 3.
Not up 3.
Oh, -3.
Yeah. Yeah,
You do a horizontal line.
it's a horizontal. Yeah, good.
Are there gonna be a lot of questions like that because I like this?
There'll be some, yeah,
So if it's y and -3, but it's cross, right?
yeah,
That's it.
or f of x, that's the same, yeah.
Oh, f of x is the same for
Yeah.
y?
I have y.
Y equals 2,
So you go to 2,
So
why
y
you get
equals
anywhere on 2?
yeah. Easy?
Yup.
Good, good. X
And
equals
then
3.
X equals 3. You go 3 on x and you go up and down.
It is up and down, good. Nice. Uh-oh. It's not as easy.
Stupid.
Well, where do I start?
We started with 3 points, which is
Start with y.
No. Start with the number here. Yeah, that's your y-intercept, so you're gonna go up 4. And now, Jared, you have your, you go down 3 as you go over 4.
I was
So
gonna find the slope first.
I'm gonna go down 3, over 4, click.
So are you recording all of this? And
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I use these as my notes?
No, but you can make notes from them. So you can have paper notes and then you can have example problems. And
How
so
many? Does it matter how much notes we have?
No.
How much we have?
you're just gonna have to be able to go through them all in the time and
No, like I'm talking like I see that like this every single letter or number and way to do it.
I just need to make that please.
all right, so here's 2 lines. The solid line, RX, gives the revenue. So that's this line. If they sell no bikes, they make no money. If they sell 1 bike, they make over 2,000, whatever these units are. If they sell 2 bikes, they get double that. At C, what's that? Yeah, 7,000, right? Well, that's the money. But the number of bikes is 3. Right?
Okay. So what's the question?
Should take a
Oh, so we need to sell 3 bikes.
Yeah, yes.
It's a shot.
So C is the cost of producing the bikes. So they are losing money until they sell 3 bikes, and then they're finally getting some
What if they
profit.
only sell 2 bikes and go out of business?
Then they're going out of business, yeah.
They're not messing up.
They're not gonna be able to pay back their bills or their loans.
Yeah, I've always wondered, what happens when a business is like super in debt and they go out of business? Do their bills still have to get paid?
No,
No? Because they filed for bankruptcy?
their just credit goes like, and then nobody will give them money again.
No. Okay.
People will realize that they're not trustworthy.
Or just COVID.
What's that?
Well, I said, or just COVID.
Well, yeah, so long as, I mean, there's some businesses that used to be viable but no longer are. As
So how
long
many
as-
points are each part?
So it's a good amount, maybe 10 points apiece or something,
How many?
maybe 10.
Oh, God. How many points?
So it's like a
Maybe
300 point
five, maybe
test?
How
5.
many points total?
So if we fail this, we're,
Yeah, your grade's going up.
If I fail this, I'm retaking it.
Yeah, the tests are the major grades, yeah.
How many times can we retake it?
Once.
What?
Once?
really?
Oh my gosh, once?
When is,
I don't fail this class.
like, when is
Hey,
it?
don't worry.
Next class.
So I had 2
I'm
tests
literally.
to do?
Yeah, but you already get to retake the one that you missed, right? So I missed one, right? So I can retake it and then retake it again?
Yeah, because.
I
we
guess, but you
Because
really,
I didn't get to take it.
Yeah, we didn't take it. the
Yeah,
first
but
time, so we
why,
wasn't here
why
for
didn't you
review.
take it?
Huh?
Why didn't you take
Kate
it?
wasn't here.
I was
I was
in
in
review.
surgery.
I missed 2 days.
I was in surgery.
I
Does it
Why
had
did you miss?
issues with my stomach.
All right.
I had surgery, so.
So
Why, I need to see that you guys are really working and you can't do infinite retakes, but
I can't just.
So if we're
I
actually
can't just fail this
trying
class.
and
You want me
we
to be in here
fail
next
it
year too?
twice,
How much
can we retake it?
yeah, if I see you're really,
Trying,
yeah.
okay.
If it's like, if you're just like, oh, I didn't even try the first time, I'm not even studying this time, but can I just take a swing at it? No, that my time's not worth, like.
Okay.
Oh, you just.
But if you are making serious efforts to
Next test.
improve, then yeah, you could see how you're doing. and your score can be how well you can do at it
Okay.
now, you know? But you can't try to just take advantage of that, you know? Just because it's too much work for me.
I would. Oh, I retake this again.
If you miss one, you're screwed.
It's all over.
It really is.
No, it's
I
not.
think you're cute,
There's
yes.
a lot of things, but I don't think one of them's.
I don't know.
All right,
I think I could push myself. If I got mad enough, I think I could push myself to the point where I just
Like, is one like that gonna be on it?
Oh, yeah.
Probably not. It's probably a little too wordy.
Absolutely.
Okay, did we go through these ones? Yeah, we did. We went through these. No, these, we gotta go through these yet. All right, okay, sit please, Jared. All right, I got a graph here. Here, this E represents the intersection with the y-axis of one of the lines. D represents another. Yes, sit. D represents the intersection of this line with the y-axis. You have its intersection with the x-axis at A. The other line's intersection with the x-axis at C. And the two lines intersect each other at B. Which of those points represents the solution to this system of two equations?
B solution.
When you have a system of equations like this,
Yeah.
and you want to find the solution, the point that's the solution, which of those represents the solution?
Where they intersect at. That would be.
B?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's where they intersect at.
So if they have an intersection, there's a solution, and it's where they intersect. Yeah, good.
Because then you also have to slope from that.
Yeah, you could figure out what the slope is for each line and stuff like that, but this is just asking you, what's the solution? The solution is where they cross each other. How about this one? Can you give it to me as a point? What is the solution here?
Okay, your turn.
No, just look at the graph.
Y3.
It's an XY coordinate pair.
Alright, so the first one is gonna be
Y, I mean, X
Two
is
and a half.
4, -4, and it's 3.
X is horizontal.
I thought X is straight up and down, and then,
That's Y.
Okay, you gotta figure out 2 points.
yeah, -4 and then 3 is the middle,
You got them
is
backwards.
where they intersect.
It's 3 for
3.
for X, and then down 4, right? So your thing would be 3,
X first.
comma, -4. Okay,
Could it be,
what's that?
could it be 2, 2?
No,
No, it's intersect.
no, it's got to be where the two lines cross each other.
There you go, over 1.
No, where
There
they
you go,
touch.
Where the
over.
blue and the red meet.
Yes, yeah.
That's what
Where they touch. Where
that's
they
what
want-
I'm saying.
You're saying you.
So
2, 2 is
so
like-
notice this is 1, 2, 3 over an
That's-
X.
How is that 3? Because that's 2 boxes.
It's in between 2 and 4.
How?
Are you?
In the middle is 3, right?
Yes. 'Cause
Yes, that's.
what
Yeah,
is
so
in between 2 and 4?
Yeah, it's not counting by ones, it's counting by twos with the
So could
X's.
it be 3, 2?
No, no, no,
-2?
down 4. See how this is on the -4?
But it's,
They intersect.
It's 2 boxes, but they're not showing every line. So it's actually 4 units down and 3 units to the right. So 3, -4.
Is it like open math where when you answer it and you get it wrong, it lets you try again or no?
No, it won't say.
Yeah. Instagram.
So you would try.
If I gave it to you on paper, it's not going to be like, try
Well,
again.
I know, but like, I like to know if I get it wrong, so then I can like do it again.
How many retries we get?
None. It's just like on
See you
paper.
next year.
It's just like on paper, right? You don't get retries on paper.
No, but you can
Yeah,
get
you
help.
do, but you can look at it.
No.
And then be like,
Not
oh.
Jared.
You can get help. Are you gonna be able to help us? Like,
See, I don't know how to
No.
do so.
I can explain to you what the question's asking, but if you don't know how to do it, I can't tell you how to do it.
I
I'm
actually,
get COVID fast.
I literally knew how to do it. I was just asking if
Can you like,
What were you asking me?
Mrs. Tell,
nothing.
can you like do us a huge favor and like give us a study guide of similar questions of all of them?
What do you think we're doing?
Well, no, I'm like,
What do you
So
want?
we, like, cause it's.
so like we can work them out like,
Uh,
on paper.
What do you think I'm clicking on right here?
To help you study for
And
tests.
I'm recording a video and I'm posting the video of going through all of these for you. Study it. Make notes from it. Bring the notes into the test.
We can use the notes on this test. Too.
Yes, yeah.
Are you okay?
So when we ask a question, you can explain the problem.
Yeah, like if it says like solve the equations using elimination and you're like, is
I
this
have no
is
idea what elimination was. Like when we went over, it, I was like, okay, I get this, but on the test, I was like, I have no knowledge.
like I can if you're not getting the language, if you miss questions on the test, I want you to miss them because you don't know how to do it,
Yeah.
not because you misinterpreted how to read it. You know, like so I can try to help you interpret the question, but I can't I'm not going to teach you how to do it on the test, you know.
Can we do some substitution and elimination?
Yes, we're about to.
I don't understand.
Is that enough?
But before we do that, we have all that in video, by the way. So
Already?
yeah, that's already there.
She just said she doesn't have to do it.
Addition
The method addition,
I know.
the addition and subtraction method are the same. Some people call it that. Some people call it elimination. Those are the same. And I don't care which method you use on the test. You can use whichever you can use to do it. I do want to go through these ones though, where you're given a slope and a point, and they want you to figure out what the equation is.
Wait, say it one more time.
They give you a point and a slope, so they tell you what the slope is. They tell you a point that the line goes through,
Oh, so you have to solve for B.
so you have to come up with this equation. They might give you 2 points and they want this equation. So let me show you how to do those two things. So let me kind of write this here for you.
This is more to my phone.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Yeah, why?
What?
What were you
We
doing?
weren't
Well,
doing anything.
I
Is
wasn't
that
even,
first time?
Well, no, we
I
weren't
was
even
checking
doing
something
First time.
and she said, give me your phone.
We weren't even doing
Was this first or
anything,
second?
But
there's nothing
no
to
one-
do.
No one gives.
So whose fault is it?
It's my fault, but I feel like I'm on my phone right now.
Are you gonna get it on the way home?
Okay, so these two, do you guys kind of get what I'm writing here? I'm taking the difference in y values over the difference in x values, and that gives me the slope, right? Is that okay? Is that okay?
What?
Do you guys get that this is like the change in y over the change in x?
What's,
Wait, why is
My
one
melon
different?
why?
I'll explain it in just a second.
Okay, wait, I need to read.
Yeah, this is good to write down.
Glad I learned it.
Isn't it just y minus y1 equals m
There's two,
x minus x1? and then
I'm
you
doing
just-
two kind of together. All right, so
Can you do
if,
it both ways?
what's that?
Can you do it both ways?
For different problems, you'll use this. Otherwise, for other problems, you'll use this. But I just wanted you to see that they're kind of the same thing. All right, so if you're given 2 points explicitly, and you need to come up with the equation. So let's say you had the point, I don't know what this is. What does that want to be? Maybe like 3, 4. Let's say this is like, I don't know, 10 something, 10, 10. And this is a variable point. I'm not saying what it is, I'm just calling it x, y, but it's going to be a point on the line. If you're given 2 points, all you're going to do is say that the slope, the difference between the y's over the difference between the x's for this point and that point, has to be the same as the difference between the y's versus the difference between the x's for either point and an unknown point. So all I'm going to do is say, okay, well, 10 minus 4 over 10 minus 3 equals, I can choose either one here, it doesn't matter. The other one, y minus, let's say 4 over x minus 3. If they say, give me the equation of the line from these 2 points, that's pretty much it. I'll accept that on paper. All they do after that is they just simplify it. So all you got to do is do rise over run for these between these 2 points, and then rise over run for an unknown point. Leave that as variables, and it doesn't matter which one you use. It'll give you the same.
Where'd you get the 3 and the 4?
I made it up.
Okay.
I just use examples.
So for the first 2 points, you're finding the slope.
But yeah, in both cases, I'm finding the slope. So like the rise versus the run. That's what I did here. And now I'm doing the rise versus the run here. And I'm saying those should be the same.
Okay.
And that's 2-point form of an equation. So 10 minus 4 is 6, 10 minus 3 is 7, and that's going to equal y minus 4 over x minus 3. All I got to do to get it into slope-intercept form is just get y by itself. So I will just multiply both sides by this thing on the bottom. That brings it over to the left. That'll equal the y minus 4. I can distribute, and you'll get 6/7 x minus, I guess that's 6 and 3 is 18/7. And that equals y minus 4. And I need y by itself, so I'm just going to add 4. Now, the examples I picked gave me fractions, so it's a little messy looking. I'll try not to do that. But when I combine those, I'll get y equals something times x plus something. And there I got it into y-intercept form. The main thing is setting it up properly. So just take the 2 points, do the rise over run, and then do this exact same thing using variables, using an unknown x and y. And that's, like if you did that on paper and you wrote this, I would accept it pretty much at that. Otherwise, you're just sort of cleaning up and rewriting it. If they give you a slope, like the question we just looked at, so if they say the slope is 2, and they give you a point that goes through the point 5, 3, then I'm going to say, well, this version then. I'm going to leave a variable x and y, and I'm going to take the change in y's over the change in x's using the point that I have. So I'm going to put 3 here and 5 here. And then the 2 will just go on to the other side of the equals. So for a point and a slope, I use point slope form, which is this on the right. I would just say y minus 3 over x minus 5 equals 2. And that's the equation of a line. Again, I could clean it up. I could say y minus 3 equals 2 times that denominator, if I multiply it on both sides. Distribute the 2. And then add 3 to both sides, so y is equal to 2x minus 7. That's how you convert, but you set it up using these forms of the equation. Again, this is point slope form. You're given a point and you're given a slope. The other one, you're given 2 points and you use either point here, but you leave this as a variable x and y. But it's still rise over run equals rise over run. So those are getting things into, that's how you find the equation of a line that either goes through 2 points or that goes through 1 point and has a particular slope. So for this one, I would say y minus -2. I'll do that one. -2, -2, -5. Let's choose a color. -5, I think the slope was. So I'm going to do this thing over here. I'm just going to say y minus -2 over x minus -2 equals -5. And all I got to do is clean that up then. This is a y plus 2 on top. This is an x plus 2 on bottom. That equals -5. I'll multiply both sides by this to move it over here. Y plus 2 is equal to -5 times x plus 2. I'll distribute the -5. -5x minus 10. Subtract 2 from both sides. I get y equals -5x minus 12. So my slope would be -5 and my y-intercept would be -12. So you just plug your point into here, your slope into here, and then you're pretty much done. You're just rearranging things to get y by itself. Is that okay? Again, I would watch this video and go through each step more slowly. I just want to make sure I get it in before the bell rings. That covers most of it.
That can be on it.
It could be. This is a monthly charge, right? So this should end up being dollars. N is minutes. So the slope must be dollars per minute. Because if I multiply by minutes, the minutes will cancel. And dollars per minute times minutes will give me dollars. That's kind of like the rate problems, like beats per minute. It's usually per time. It's rarely time per dollars, but could be. Here's a 2-point one. So you could do the -2 minus -1, 8 minus 9 equals y minus -1 over x minus 9. That's pretty much it. You just got to rearrange it, just like we did for the example points that I gave you here, 3, 4, and 10, 10. You just do one y versus the other y, one x versus the other x, a generic y versus either of the other two, a generic x versus either of the other two. I like small numbers, so I usually go with smaller numbers. I could have done 10 and 10 here. I did the 4 and 3. All right, we're about at a time where we should be thinking about cleaning up. I will end this so I can get the video and post it. I can let you go, Serenity. You guys have a good weekend.